Hadithi.
Hadithi Joe.
You know, when I was still very new in the industry, I chanced on getting like a very wealthy client. You know, what you would say a man of significant means. And, you know, we got started with the process of helping him acquire a really high value life assurance policy. It was the highest premium I had ever sold. Like this was a lot of money. And it was so exciting doing the paperwork, holding his hand as we started the like going now for the medical exams and everything. Then guess what? So we got to the point now where the medical underwriting by the insurance company started. And this big discovery happened that some material facts about his health history had been withheld. And just out of nowhere, the policy was cancelled, or the insurance company actually declined to issue the cover. So that will form the discussion of today's episode. In Latin, we call this "you bury me today," and in English, the principle of
utmost good faith. And now that brings us to the 7th episode of our Insurance Hangout podcast with me, your host, your super agent, Angie Gondi.
And Mama Bima Kenya.
Good, you're welcome. Now, Charlene, you've mentioned something very interesting on the health. You know, your clients being declined at the point of, you know, underwriting. And this has happened to me quite a lot, not just once or twice. But maybe most clients don't even understand what material facts are.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
An example of a material fact is, you know, you're a smoker and you don't state that you're a smoker. And maybe the particular cover you're taking, like a life insurance cover, you will need to state whether you're a smoker or not a smoker. So if we get a claim, like maybe a critical illness claim, and probably you have like a lung issue and it's within 6 months or a year, and the doctor actually establishes you've been smoking,
for the past 20 years,
15 years, 10 years, then that claim will not be payable at all.
Yes.
Okay.
And that is actually because of non-disclosure. Yes.
You know?
And a lot of clients actually fear, especially when it comes to the smoking status, because your stating status, by the way, it actually affects you, whether you will be accepted or maybe if your premiums will be loaded. But this is what I tell my clients. Don't withhold material facts.
No.
Please be truthful. About from the questions that you're being asked on the proposal form. Be very truthful and let now the insurance company decide. Because honestly, choices have consequences. So if you've been smoking, your premiums may be loaded and sometimes not even that high. Okay? But you actually not disclosing that information may actually come to hurt your dependents at a point now where there's a claim and the claim is not honored.
And that brings me back to some few years ago when I was just starting out in the industry. One of my peers, a celebrated peer, an agent actually, would tell clients, you know what, there's no need to state that. Don't state that, And this particular client had a pre-existing condition. So along the way, the underwriter establishes that this client has a pre-existing condition. So what happened at that time? They cancelled cover. You've already paid premium, The cover was cancelled. And the company at that time, let me not mention the name, actually blacklisted the client. Until this very day, I'm unable to take back this client to that particular company. And so the client came to me and informed me, you know what, this is what happened. This agent had told me not to list, not to list this existing condition for my father, but I didn't, and this is what has happened. And remember, this was a reputable insurance company. A representative of a very reputable insurance company. So it's just good to be honest at any given time.
And speaking of which, one of my clients was actually suffered from COVID. Okay, and so we did a life insurance cover, not really life, more an education fund. It was an endowment policy, and in the health questionnaire there was a question on whether you had been diagnosed like with a persistent cough or over the past 5 years. And guess what he wrote? Just wrote no. And the insurance company actually came to know that he had actually been diagnosed with COVID. And just like that, they refused to issue cover. So this thing of non-disclosure or misrepresentation, of material facts, it really comes to bite clients. And for me, I usually say, but let's disclose. Like recently, I had a young girl come to take up a cover for her mother. And the mom has been going through, treatment of a critical illness. And that actually at a point where, the doctors are showing, things are going right. It's been quite many years, of them spending so much money. And she was wondering, can we get a cover? Because they had been denied cover with so many underwriters. And so when she came, the thing was, should we disclose or just keep quiet and probably wait until the waiting period for the critical illness, which in this case is usually 2 years with the underwriter that we went to. And no, I told her, no, we are going to disclose. We are going to provide the reports, the latest reports when she went to hospital, all the tests. And I'm telling you, so it was actually a winding. It took time for the medical underwriting to be done. But I'm telling you, the day she got the email, like acceptance.
Acceptance.
An acceptance of cover.
What most people don't even understand is that behind insurance companies exist human beings who understand these things, So it's not somebody just at the back of their desk, you know what, I'm going to load this premium.
Yes.
I'm going to decline this premium. No. They just have to apportion the premium.
Yes.
And you know what, just assess your risk levels.
Yes. Yeah. And I can tell you, like, for this particular plan, it was loaded by about 25%. But the cover was issued. And even the undertaking that the insurance company took up is, if anything was to happen, yes, there are waiting periods that will apply, but if anything was to happen, like this client is fully on cover. So this thing of withholding, information, remember, an insurance contract is two-way, okay? You as the client, you come in saying, I will give full disclosure. And on the other hand, the insurance company is saying, when now you lodge a claim, we are going to honor it. But they can only honor your claim if it's also a genuine
claim.
Yes.
Yeah. And also one thing I say, let me just echo what you say.
Yes.
Because it's a contract, the insurance company must also come to you, the client, with utmost good faith.
Yes.
Okay? And that's why most insurance companies will actually have,
policy document,
a whole policy document telling you this is covered, this is not covered, you know what? And I still say then misrepresentation or non-disclosure of material facts can actually even embarrass you. Can you imagine being in hospital?
Yes.
And on the day of discharge, and this particular time we've chosen a high-end hospital and whatnot, and on the very day of discharge, the insurance company declines.
And
how embarrassing is that?
And you see, that's how you also find like a lot of stories here on social media, saying, oh, this insurance company, they're fake, they're frauds, insurance is a scam. But really, if you dig
deeper into the story,
insurance companies are actually bound by this principle of utmost good faith. It's probably taken an investigation to get to the point of knowing that this, there was something that was withheld. We were not given full information. So they also put their foot down and decide we are not going to honor this claim. Yes. And this also brings me to a different story. Earlier this year, I got a new client and I was excited because we actually go back with this client, okay? And So he comes, I need comprehensive motor insurance. And of course, we do the paperwork. We get the first month cover, the first month certificate, and I issue a letter for now the valuation to be done. About 2 weeks later, so valuation has not yet been done. He didn't undertake it immediately. 2 weeks later, unfortunately, my client is involved in an accident along Thika Road. So we actually, so I now start walking him through, we need, because it was in the evening, please, before you get home, we first need to report this to the police. We need to get an abstract, like we need to start the process of claiming. And I will see how, we'll talk with the underwriter, knowing that we had not done the valuation. So we start. And of course, the following day, he tells me he didn't get the abstract. He was asked to go the following day to get the report, the police report. Now, from the following day, my client went quiet on me. Okay. And about, 3 days later, because I was trying to reach him, can I send an assessor to look at the vehicle? Unfortunately, my client made the mistake. He actually took his car for repairs. Remember, an assessor has not cited this vehicle. Okay. He's not even, if there's any investigation that needed to be done, nothing had been done yet. So by the time now we were going to the insurance company, they literally did not know if this vehicle, to start with, from the point of, taking up the cover, if the vehicle was as we had represented it to be in a good state. So it's usually those small things, that you actually get to a point now, even when you're facing the insurance company, you just push back. And they're like, no, the most you can do is possibly now cancel this policy, refund the premiums, but we will not undertake.
But you see, the thing is, whether you cancel or not, even such action with the next underwriter will give you the same results. Same results. We just need to do things right.
And with our industry actually evolving and sharing information amongst the different companies, that actually calls for us to actually get into that, let it be part of us and our rhythm, that we are actually, you're not out to take advantage.
I see people tell me, what, my mom has been diagnosed with this and that, and we get covered now. And yet, we probably had this conversation a year earlier. And I explained that there will be a waiting period. This, you have to declare and whatnot. And you see, that does not come with good faith. It doesn't come with good faith. It's just because I need my bills to be paid. Now I need the insurance company to come on board.
So I always feel utmost good faith. It even just starts inwardly. Insurance companies are here for that rainy day. Okay. For that time when you need to be indemnified. You need, they are here to ensure that you do not suffer financial loss. Okay. But let's approach this relationship with that, with also that feeling of, I need this insurance underwriters to stay in business, so that when I have a genuine claim, they actually get to honor it. It should not be a relationship where you are actually taking advantage
of the other party. And it's good to have that good relationship, so that our insurance companies stay in for long. Because the other disadvantage of not of having a dishonest client, or many dishonest clients, is that our products will continue being, tightened. We keep on having, lower limits, lower sub-limits. Increased premiums generally, like what we recently saw with motor insurance. Because the premiums had gone, the claims were ridiculously high.
And I remember a few years back, we even used to have like phone insurance, standalone phone insurance. But then what did we do?
For you to get phone insurance now, it must be accommodated in the home insurance.
Yes, but before we had underwriters who had actually brought a standalone phone cover. But then, tukacheza kivyetu, you lose your phone today, you go look for an insurance agent, you take a cover, 2 weeks down the line, you come in with your claim.
Or you decide, you know what, I want a new laptop.
Speaking of which,
I've
had this story where people say that you don't know that package, that insurance package that you take, and you can actually furnish your house.
Don't do that,
really, guys. and I always say, insurance companies and insurance underwriters, they are not naive.
No, they're not.
These people, there are investigators actually in this industry. So it's not the way people think that I'll take this plan, after some time I'll come, lodge a claim for an iPhone,
But even for you as an agent, sometimes before you even lodge that claim, you just smell the malice in that claim.
Yes. And it's so heartbreaking.
It is.
Because I believe in a mutually beneficial relationship. I want my clients to thrive, but I also want the insurance underwriters to stay in business. And let me tell you, the joy of having a claim honored. This takes me back 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? December when 2021, I lost my phone in OST for jam. And all I could see is the young boy disappearing, in the side mirror, running. And my claim was honored so fast. You guess? And it actually hit me since I started taking home insurance. And the first time I ever took home insurance, this was in 2015. That was actually the one and only claim I had ever lodged. But that joy, where this is the phone that I used to create my content. This is the phone that I used to call my clients. I was able to go to, the following morning, go report to the police, go to a Safaricom shop, Airtel shop, nifunge and get new lines. And immediately I walked into a shop and got a phone because I had the confidence that my claim
would be paid.
Yes.
Wow. So what are we telling our beautiful audience?
Yes. When you're coming into an insurance contract, bring with you and practice the principle of utmost good faith. Full disclosure of information. Sometimes it may pinch a little bit because if you're coming in with a pre-existing illness, it may mean slightly higher premiums. But once you are in and the policy has been offered and accepted, you'll also have the confidence that the underwriter on the other end is going to honor your claim.
And you're not constantly worried, what do I write to a line to? The way a lie keeps on lingers.
Yes.
Every other lie has to have another lie beneath it.
Yes.
So you would avoid all that because when you wake up, sleep, breathe, you know what? Yes. My claim is going to be paid because I have a clean record of everything that I'm doing, that you are doing, So
that's it from us from today's 7th episode of the Insurance Hangout podcast. Now we are also live on YouTube. I'm so excited that we're finally, finally on video. So make a point of subscribing to our channel and also catch our podcast on your favorite podcast platform. It's me, Mama Bima, Kenya.
And your super agent, Angie Gondi.
Catch you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.